Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, my name is Corey. I'm Haitian. I was born and raised in Haiti, and we're gonna start right away. The theme of today's video is SOS, I'm ashamed of being from a shithole country. Yes, this is a very interesting topic. I used to be very ashamed of being Haitian at one point in my life, and I did a lot of work on myself to get rid of that feeling. And we're gonna talk about my experience with that feeling of being ashamed of being from a third world country. And after that, I'm gonna give you exactly what I did to get rid of this feeling, and I hope that you guys will gonna greatly benefit from this video. If you are from a third world country and you're currently not living in your country, or you're still living in your country but you're ashamed of being of your country of origin, so you'll greatly benefit from all the advice, the concepts, the information that over the years I accumulated, I read about, and yes, let's start right now. Yes, first of all, growing up in Haiti, most of my friends, I'm not gonna say all my friends, not all my friends, but a lot of them had passports from other countries, other first world countries like Canada or the US or France, or even they had this girl that had a passport from Mexico. So I realized that I only had a Haitian passport, and whenever we talked about that, they always told me, yeah, we have another country's passport, and sometimes they had both nationality, also Haitian and another nationality from a developed country. So that always was an issue for me, the fact that I was born in my country, and it was a third world country, because my friends, my classmates made me feel some type of way about them, being from a big country that's considered powerful and big, and they have the opportunity to travel as they wish to this country to go on vacation for Christmas or summertime. But me, I have to ask for a visa at the embassy, and it's a long process that takes time, and it costs money also, good amount of money to apply. And then it's not always guaranteed that you're gonna have the visa. Sometimes you have to wait 3 months or more, and that was always an issue for me traveling, because I had cousins in the state that I wanted to visit. So that was always a preoccupation. Am I gonna get the visa? For how long? And then whereas my classmates and friends and cousins that had another country's nationality and had other passports, they didn't have that issue. And that was one of the first time back then that I realized that there's a problem with my nationality and being Haitian, because I can't travel as I would wish to be being able to travel. Okay, so that was just that. But it became something else, and something heavier and more frustrating, when I went to the DR to study, because usually Haitian students, a lot of them don't stay when they have the means to travel. they don't stay in Haiti to pursue their studies, to go to college or university. If they can travel abroad, they travel. And when the easiest place to go for us Haitians is the DR, because they have higher educational level, they have better schools and universities there, and it's economically more appealing than going to the States or France or Canada or any country, any other country where the studies are more expensive. So DR is a bit more less expensive, very affordable for a lot of Haitian families. So when my family decided for me to go to DR, I went there, but I didn't know what I was getting myself into, because I didn't know anything about anti-Haitianism in DR. The fact that a lot of people in the Dominican society are colorist and racist. There's a problem with Haitians in DR being, how can I say that? How can I put that? Because a lot of us Haitians go there to find better opportunities, to work, to live. And a lot of us also go there to use some social services like hospitals. So it's an economic migration. And when the number of Haitians living in the Dominican gets too high, there's a lot of tension, a lot of friction with Dominicans over there. And because we're black people nation, it causes a lot of tension, because Dominican society tends to be very colorist and racist, and we don't blend in with with Dominicans. So that's an issue for us over there. I had a lot of problems accepting that and living in the country, because I had some teachers that were anti-Haitians. I had also, going to the supermarket, doing my groceries, I heard a lot of stories and people talking about Haitians in a bad way in public transportations. My friends from university, when they had, conversations in the classroom, especially when I first entered a classroom where people couldn't tell that I was Haitian because I don't have the profile according to them. I heard a lot of, bad words being said, bad attributes and bad manner of speaking about Haitians. That really traumatized me. And I became ashamed of having that nationality at one point, where I tend to not talk for people, because I didn't want people to hear my accent and ask me where I was from, and I had to say that I was Haitian. Because not only I was ashamed, but I was scared also. I was living by myself in the country, going to school. Sometimes I had classes that ended at 10 p.m. and then I had to go back home by myself. And I was kind of scared of people in my neighborhood knowing that I was Haitian, because I don't know how would they react towards me, or how would they treat me. I didn't want to be treated different, because I saw how they treated other people around me that were Haitian, and it was really, you don't feel valued or appreciated. You feel like you're some kind of undesired species that they need to get rid of. That's anyways, so that studying and living at DR caused a lot of social anxiety to me. I got really socially anxious, and I started to realize that I was from a country that didn't shine bright let's say, that didn't have that was shining but in a bad light, that had a lot of bad press and a lot of negative images coming from the press. Every time they talked about Haiti or Haitian was something negative and shameful, you understand? So that's basically my experience with being ashamed of being from a shithole country. Excuse me, I have to, I had to pick that title for the YouTube algorithm. It's not really a nice word to use, I understand, but it is what it is. And yeah, that was basically my experience with feeling ashamed of being Haitian. And every time, you hear something in the news and they're talking about your country, and then it's always something negative, so you kind of feel a little something. But when I started really being socially anxious about the fact of being Haitian is when I used to live in DR. It was hard for me to give my passport when I was at the bank, because they're gonna say I have a Haitian passport, so she must be Haitian. Oh, that girl is Haitian, pointing fingers at me and looking at me like, but she doesn't look Haitian. She doesn't have the Haitian profile. Oh wow. And I remember I used to say, especially at the beginning of my studies when I had just entered the country, I used to say that I was from the United States, because they don't speak English, so most of them didn't realize that I had an accent when I spoke English. So I used to tell them, yeah, I'm Black American, and yeah. crazy times. So when I got back to the country, and around the end of my studies, and also when I went back to Haiti, I did a lot of work on myself to understand that feeling of shame, of being ashamed, and why I had it, and work on myself to get rid of it, because I didn't like feeling like that, and I felt bad for feeling ashamed. Yes, I really did feel bad for feeling ashamed. But I think I had to. I was living in a country or in a society that was hostile towards Haitian. So that was a legit reaction also, because I was by myself, and sometimes I was scared of, because people sometimes got aggressive. Especially I remember me being in a public bus where there was this altercation between the driver and one of the men, the passengers. The passenger was defending Haitians in the country, telling people that, but they're good people, they're just here to work, because they cannot find work in their country, so they're coming over here. And you would do the same whenever we travel. Dominicans go to New York or some to Puerto Rico, it's the same thing. And then people got really mad at him, and then the driver stopped the bus and kicked them out of the bus violently. And I was really shocked. Can you imagine me staying quiet on the bus, with trying not to talk, praying that no one addresses me, for them to see that I have an accent when I reply to them, and then telling them, oh, I'm Asian. That was a bad day. That was a bad experience for me that day. Anyways. So I told you more or less my experience with being ashamed of being from my country. And now I'm gonna follow up by telling you exactly what I did, how I worked on myself. But this work I did on myself was for my overall self-esteem, because at one point in my life I had really low self-esteem. And I had no self-confidence, and I had to do some serious work on myself. And one of the things that I did is that I tried to understand what had happened in DR also, and that was one of the works I did on myself. That's not the only problem I had. Okay, so I tried to analyze that part of that. Sorry, that issue also with me, the fact of being ashamed of being Haitian and not being able to tell people that, yeah, without, you know, feeling a certain way, feeling ashamed of saying, yeah, I'm Haitian, you know. So it took me some time to get to this point where now I'm like, whenever you ask me, where are you from? Like, I used to hate when people ask me that question, man. I used to hate that. Where are you from? And I'm like, I have to say I'm Haitian. You know, now I'm like, yeah, I'm Haitian. And I don't say it like, yeah, I'm Haitian and proud, you know, because it's another. If you're being you're overreacting, it's a problem also. So now I'm like, yeah, I'm Haitian, you know, yeah, I'm Haitian. But it took me a lot of work on myself to get to this point. So I'm gonna tell you what I did exactly, so that you can do it also, apply all the concepts, all the information to yourself, because I know if you're watching this video, or you might know someone that has this problem, or you have this problem, or your brother or your cousin, just also, if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, and don't forget to share the video with someone you think has this issue, wherever you're from, wherever you live. If you're Nigerian, or from Senegal, or from Costa Rica, wherever you're from, and you're living in another country, or you're ashamed of your country. Not that I'm saying that your country is third world, I'm sorry. But anyways, you understand, you're Jamaican, whatever, okay? All right, I'll be back right now. Well, first of all, I realized something as I was, you know, learning about myself and understanding my problem, especially in DR. I understood that I felt ashamed of being from a third world country, from being Haitian. Well, let's be clear. DR is third world also. It's classified third world. Well, so it's not because you live in another third world country that you're gonna feel comfortable, okay? It's the environment, how hostile the environment was towards me. I realized that I only felt ashamed when I was in this environment. So your environment has a lot to do, is at fault when it comes to your feeling of shamefulness. Excuse the French. And you might consider changing your environment, or making friends with people that don't make you feel like that, because sometimes the people you interact with every day, or your friends, your colleagues, if they make you feel like that and they have a certain profile, you tend to classify everybody that looks like that, or you tend to generalize them, and then see them in a bad light, and they provoke this reaction. They provoke in yourself this reaction. So you have to make friends, or socialize with people in order for you to realize that not everybody is like that, and lessen the weight of your perspective, you know, because I made the mistake also living in DR of isolating myself and not having that many friends that are Dominicans. And I had a few of them that were very nice, you understand, and very down to earth people, very, you know, how can I say that, loving and caring and good people. And the few interactions I had with them were very positive, but I didn't surround myself enough with people that was like that and that made me feel like that. Okay, so that's the first thing that you must realize, is that your feeling of being ashamed usually is caused by people around you and people that you interact with. So you have to consider changing your environment and interacting with people that are more positive and loving and accepting and down to earth people, nice, good people. So and this is when also I understood the concept of social anxiety. It's a real thing. And you know what anxiety is the feeling of stress, of discomfort, of fearing something that might happen. It's like if you were a kid and you went to the pool with your parent, but you didn't know how to swim yet, and then you went inside the pool alone, and at one point you almost drowned, and your dad saved you. But every time you go back to the pool, you always have that feeling of being anxious of what might happen, because of the last time this is what happened, I had this accident at the pool. It's the same feeling that you have whenever you're about to encounter people. When you have social anxiety, you are really restless and nervous and stressed because you had previous bad interactions with people, and then you fear what they're gonna think of me, their judgment, they're gonna criticize me, their opinion of me is bad, they see me in a bad light, I'm gonna make a fool of myself. This is what social anxiety is about. It's about projecting bad interaction with people that you're already imagining that bad things are gonna happen when you encounter certain kind of people. Okay, so I had to realize that it's the environment I was in that was causing this feeling of being shameful. But what I realized also is that I wasn't strong enough in my self-esteem to not let the environment affect me that much, because of course you are in a hostile environment, you're gonna react all kind of ways, to defend yourself, to protect yourself, because you're scared sometimes. But that feeling of really rejecting yourself, your country, and being ashamed, it's another thing that you must work on. And it's something that's telling you that you have a problem with your general self-esteem, because you have to attach so much importance to what people might think of you or say about you or about your country. Just why are you so preoccupied with what people think about you or of your country, of your of people from your country? Why is it so important? Because you are you, they don't know you, and you're not supposed to care so much about what people say about you or think about you. But it's not easy if you don't have self-esteem to detach yourself because the opinion of people matters so much to you. This is what values you. When people see you in a good light, people like you, people love you. So when you have low self-esteem, you attach a lot of importance to that. But when you are certain with who you are, you love yourself, you understand what's going on, and it's when you have to learn how to stop comparing yourself to people and stop giving so much value to what people think of you. And also, people tend to play a power game with you. That's another thing. That's another concept that I realized, that every time you're interacting with someone, there's a subtle, sometimes power game going on, where people tend to feel superior or inferior to you or equal to you. And one of the things that they might use to feel superior to you is is the nationality when you're where you're from. If you feel that, if they feel that you feel that you're from a country that's economically lower than their country, or you're a migrant in their society, they're gonna put you at a level where they feel that you're inferior to them in a certain way, education wise, financially wise, even without knowing you. It's something that's systematic. So you have to stop letting people put you at the lowest level or making you feel inferior just because of your nationality, because that person doesn't know you and you don't know them. You understand? And everybody is equal. There's not someone that's superior to another because of where they're from. That's a concept that's been invented by some fucked up people, by some fucked up supremacist people, and you don't want to partake into that. So never let people put you at the lowest level, of the scale. Know in your head that you're equal to everyone, regardless of your social class, regardless of your education, your skin color, or your nationality, the country you're from. Even if your country is the poorest country in the world, it's a shithole according to this very intelligent person and very rich crazy person that has so much influence that such a bad word got out of that person's mouth, without understanding how much damage that would gonna cost with people that have low self-esteem and that are preoccupied with where they're coming from. So don't let the attacks get to you. Know that you're equal to everyone, no matter how rich they are, how powerful they are, what's their skin color. You're all equal. So you also might have an ego problem. You have a problem with your ego, because your ego is, maybe sometimes you don't control it. It's not well balanced enough, because if people's opinions or judgments or critics are so important to you, it's because you like to prove yourself, you like to justify yourself, you're scared of being criticized, you're scared of being judged. And when you have this type of fear, it's because your ego always wants to shine and wants to be seen in a good light, in a positive light. I'm strong, I'm beautiful, I'm powerful. So whenever being from a poor country, it's a vulnerability to your ego. So whenever you are in an environment that triggers this vulnerability, your ego takes a hit. So you have to learn that there's no shame in being criticized. There's no shame of people having bad opinion of you or seeing you in a bad light. It is what it is. Life is about good and bad, and you have the right to you have the right to fail. You have the right to it's okay to be seen in a bad light sometimes. You have to accept it. You don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to fear being criticized. You don't have to justify yourself. You have to be okay with whatever results, whatever bad or good thing that's happening around you, that's happening to you, or that you are causing, you are doing. You have to, it's about being a well-balanced person and accepting the good and accepting the bad also, and not being afraid to show, to say, yeah, I messed up, or yeah, this is not working well, yeah, right now this is my country is going through so much, and things are not right down there for now, but it's gonna get better over time. And you have to embrace everything and not be ashamed of something that's part of life. And why you have to keep your ego in check in that way. And I did that work on myself, and it's not easy, of course, but you have to know about how your ego is causing you to be shameful to things that are making you being seen as inferior, less than. You understand? And so yep, that's a big solution to this problem. And also I was gonna say that at one point in life, everyone, no matter what their nationality, what their country they're from, there's always a moment, a situation in which they felt ashamed of being from this country or having this nationality. You can, if you're gonna while I was researching for this video on the internet, I read stories about people from France saying that they went on vacation to Brazil, and they went to this nice hotel, and there was another group of French people that really had bad manners, and then they were ashamed of the way they were treating their waitresses over there, and they were ashamed of being French. Or you can hear an American say that, oh, they were ashamed of whenever Trump got into power. I'm Shrimp. I called him Shrimp. Cape got into power and stuff. So, the problem with me, and I don't know if it's a problem with you also, it's not a specific situation I was ashamed about. I was ashamed about myself. I was ashamed about me being Haitian. And as in, I felt inferior. I felt unappreciated and devalued. And I allowed people to have so much power on me, on my self-esteem, to make me feel like that. And I did the work on myself to not let people make me feel like that anymore, because now I know who I am. I have my ego in check. I know about social anxiety and what causes it, and it's a trauma that you have to heal. You have to heal your relationship with people and not be so afraid, of people's judgment and critics and opinions, And also, it's about power. Also, it's a power game, because you have to replace your feeling of shame for your country, what's happening, the state, the economical state it's in, with feelings of frustration and anger. For instance, a few months ago, maybe it was last year, I don't recall, there was an issue with Haitians, migrants at the border, at the Mexican border, and the images that CNN were showing were really, if you're not strong mentally and yourself, you don't appreciate yourself, you don't respect yourself, and have your ego in check, and have everything in check, with knowing that they're both good and bad. And right now this is a bad thing that they're showing, but all the good things about your country and everything. So if you don't know that, you as a Haitian person looking at what's happening, you would be very ashamed, like, oh my God, we're all over CNN for this bad news, and it's looking crazy down there, what's happening at the border. I'm ashamed of being Haitian. But no, me, when I saw these images, I was frustrated. I was like, oh my God, what's happening in Haiti? that causes all these people to go to have to, you know, get disrespected like that? And why is the American government and you know, people at the border patrol reacting like that and having this behavior with the migrants? It's very unprofessional. It looked very, you know, borderline. So I was frustrated and I was angry. I wasn't ashamed. The feeling of shame is for victims, you know, and I told you, never let people place you as inferior, place you, never be a victim. You have to replace the shame with a feeling of frustration and anger, where instead of being ashamed for what's happening and like, you know, oh my God, I want to hide, I don't want people to know at work that I'm Haitian, they're gonna ask me about what's happening at the border, I don't want to let them know, or I don't want to talk about it because it's so shameful. You like what the heck is happening? So why is this happening, you know? So that's the type of vibe that you should have. You should switch your perspective from being a victim and being ashamed of, you know, being someone that's questioning and that's in control and that's frustrated and ashamed, not ashamed of yourself or your fellow people from your nation that's doing, you know, whatever. In that case, I'm talking about the thing that was happening at the border, but ashamed of the reaction of, for instance, the border patrol. You know, that was very unprofessional and questionable what was happening over there. Understand? So that's basically the type of work that I did on myself to learn about ego and putting my ego in check, to learn about power games between people and different type of power games. You can have power games with people from different nationality, with one thinking they're better than the other. It's about gender also. People, because they're older than you, thinking that they're better than you. There's a lot of power games going on in the world whenever human beings are interacting, and you don't want to be put in the position where you feel inferior, because you're never inferior to no one. You're always equal. Always keep that in your mind, okay? Always keep that in your mind. So that's what I wanted to say, and that's basically the work I did on myself to start being able to freely say, and without being any feeling of shamefulness, saying that to anyone, yeah, I'm Haitian, yeah, no problem, you know, no big deal about it. But it took me some time, because I know what, sometimes I overthink. I tend to think what people are thinking, but you know, that they might be thinking a million things other than saying, you know, thinking bad things about you being Haitian. So we tend to overreact because we're traumatized sometimes, and we have to clean and heal the trauma and work on it ourselves, to accept ourselves, to accept the good and the bad, and to know that in the world there's good and bad, there's positive and negative and everything. And every country has have a problem, has issues. So why should you be ashamed of your country's issues, of your country's problems? You don't know how many Haitian people have encountered in the States, living now in the States, because I've been living in Florida for a year now, that I've been that are telling me, yeah, no, don't tell. I don't tell people I'm Haitian. You know, sometimes people with the thickest Haitian accent tell you, no, I don't hang out with Haitians. I don't want people knowing that I'm Haitian, or I don't tell people I'm Haitian. I don't know, what do they tell people? Maybe they tell people they're Jamaican. I don't know what do they tell people, but there's this, you know, big no about letting people know that they're Haitian, because of the stigma in the past that used to be attached with it in the States. I understand that the Haitian community had a lot of, you know, a stigma, still has, you know. But I think that individually, each of us should do the work on ourselves to boost our self-esteem, to, you know, learn about ego, learn about power games, learn about social anxiety, you know, and getting control over our life, because it's not interesting to have this feeling of shame everywhere you go because issues with your nationality or whatever other issues we have with that's causing you low self-esteem. All right, so that's about it for this video. I'm gonna keep on doing video around the same topic, and I hope that it was useful to you guys, and I hope that you subscribed and you're gonna keep on following the work I do. That would be awesome. And I think that I still have a lot to say and a lot of advice and stuff that I can help you guys with. So Merry Christmas. I don't know if I'm gonna get to do a video around Christmas, and that's it. All right, guys, thank you and have a great week. Bye bye.